There you go.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Public Works Committee meeting on Tuesday, May 23rd. It is 2:30 p.m. And we are doing this committee meeting by remote. On the agenda today are 3 items. Number 1 on our agenda is resolution MOU between the City of Williamsport and RVTA. And Mr. Black, you are up.
Okay, what this is just a resolution for shared services between RVTA and ourselves. This is basically for larger projects between like our IT department and theirs, when we need extra hands and extra eyes, or when one of us decides that they'd like to take a vacation and there's coverage while that person's away. And also for some of the other professional services like the electricians, which the city has, but RVTA does not, and HVAC mechanics, which RVTA has, but the city does not. Basically what the person will be is the other entity will be compensated for whatever their actual salary plus benefits are for that time period.
Randy, you have any questions?
Yeah, that section you just referenced, Chris. So there won't be any mixing of the funds. The city side will take care of their employees and
Correct.
RVTA will take care of theirs.
Yeah, you come work for me for an hour and then we will reimburse you for what you're typically paid by RVTA. We will pay RVTA for your time.
Okay.
Just like you do the rent and other items.
Right. Okay. So it'll be tracked and everyone will have the correct records and.
Correct.
Did we did this last year, correct or not?
No, this is the first we've done.
Okay. Because it said, we wish the parties seek to renew this relationship on a 1-year basis.
Yes, moving forward, a year from now, we'll look at it to renew it.
Oh, okay. So it's speaking towards the future.
Correct.
And how much do you have a sense of how often this is going to be used, or you probably know some of the issues that are out there. So can you give us a ballpark figure about how much time there will be interaction with each?
I really couldn't tell you, a finite number.
Well, not finite.
I'm just saying, like there may be a couple hours 1 week and then nothing for another month or more. And it's not on a day-to-day basis. The only time that might ever happen is if, say, I'm on vacation and something major goes down, then Mr. Warfel has to come in and troubleshoot and take care of it if I am not available, if I'm in out away on vacation or what have you. And vice versa, he might be out on one of his cruises and something goes sideways and I need to spend a few hours up there to try and straighten it out and make headway of it.
Right. Okay. That's all I have right now. Thank you.
Vince, any questions?
I did, and I apologize, Chris, if I'm asking you to repeat yourself, but did I hear it correctly? So if Mr. Warfel's out on vacation, you have to go down to RVTA to do some work. Obviously, we will keep track of the time, and then we, the city, will bill RVTA out for whatever time you spent down there at your pay rate, correct? And vice versa, that if Mr. Warfel.
Yes.
Okay.
Pay rate and and benefits.
Okay.
Which is basically
All right.
built into what our salary is anyhow,
Correct. I just wondered, did we do any kind of cost comparison as far as what it may cost to employ Mr. Waffles services versus, say, what is it, CSR or Compugen or any of the other local IT specialist firms?
What the big difference would be is his knowledge already of a lot of the systems that are in here,
Okay. Okay, so
and vice versa. I mean, I know their system's a lot better than any outside party is going to know coming in blind.
okay. So it's kind of the approach that we may pay a little bit more upfront per hour, but realistically, there's actually a net gain because there's a lot fewer hours that'll be spent diagnosing and correcting any potential issues, since you and Mr. Warfel already have that high of a background knowledge of the software and systems.
That is correct.
Okay, just want to make sure I understood. That's all I have, Bonnie. Thank you,
Okay,
Mr. Black.
Chris, couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Number one, is Sean working as IT with the police department, or was that just a rumor?
No, he is.
He is working.
Started there April 17th.
Okay, so was he hired as an IT person for the police department?
For the police department, yes,
And he's solely working there?
that
Well,
is correct.
Would he be incorporated in any of this exchange?
Yes, I do incorporate him as much as I can.
Okay. The one thing I would not want to see, Chris, is our IT people spending more time at RVT if he gets behind schedule and vice versa. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
We're needed in our own city. And you know, that's been a major complaint of mine, that sometimes we would get short shifted with our own departments. And I don't
Well,
want to see that happen.
I understand. We always take care of our own first.
Okay. I just
You
want
know,
to make sure that
the
that's
only
what it
time
is.
that might become an issue is if they have some type of major outage up there. Like say their email server melted to the ground, and I would have to go in to take care of it. Or vice versa, I'm away someplace and something goes sideways. Sean can troubleshoot a lot. Sean troubleshooted great yesterday for me. We had a brief outage and he went to one end of the line and I went to the other, and he had it up and running before I could get to my end of the line. So he's doing a great job. I can't say enough about that young man. So the more he learns here, it's not necessarily so much for assistance here with us here. It's more for assistance here when we're not here.
I can understand
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Okay.
And maybe you can't answer this question, but was Sean's pay, was that in their budget for this? We have no idea what he's being paid.
He's
That
being
never-
paid from the grant that the police department got. It's a 2-year program.
And it was a grant to the police department?
Yes, the $1.5 million grant that they got.
Oh, okay.
His position was written into that grant.
Now they're going to cover, this is not Sean's job for just only the next 2 years, right? They're going to be putting this in the budget, I would assume,
At some point, I would assume so, yes.
because
He has proven to be invaluable in the month and a half that he's been here. Month and a week.
that was my biggest thing, Chris, when we were going, about IT people and hiring somebody, that the police department, they hog our IT people. And, and some of the other, and we know that they have a lot of different programs and things. And, hiring Sean, I think, is a good thing from the standpoint of everybody else can get the service then. And I just wanted to make sure his salary is going to be covered continuously at this point.
Oh,
So
yes, if he's pulled up there, yes, it would be. I mean, that would fall under the same agreement.
Okay.
Just the same as if one of the guys from Streets and Parks has to get pulled over there to do electrical work. It would be covered under this same particular agreement. It's not necessarily just the IT people. It's any of the, professional services that we have.
Understand that tremendously. Since Sean used to work with Streets and Parks, that means they're probably looking for another employee to fill his position then.
I believe they already have.
Have they? Okay. Okay. I have no other questions. Anybody else want to add anything here? Since I don't hear
Nope.
anything. Okay, since I don't hear any, Chris, we will see you on Thursday. Thank you for answering the questions.
Sure, glad
Okay.
to.
Okay, next item on the agenda is Sean Walker, who is from the Rec Department. Sean, how are you doing today?
Good, good. How's everyone?
We're just doing peachy keen.
Good, good.
Okay, I've asked you to come to this meeting to at least have some conversation of what's going on with the Rec Department with their summer programs, pool programs, and what's coming up. And so I'm going to let you have the floor.
All right. Just a little bit of update. I'm going to rewind us a little bit. First event out the gate for me and my assistant, Lalitha Durlin. She's also on this live Zoom meeting also. We had our Easter egg hunt, which we had about 800 kids that attended that event. We also had some bounce houses, face painting, coloring stations, snacks, music, and we had 2 Easter bunnies this year. So it was very well attended, but went off very well. And also we did this in collaboration with First United Methodist Church. But since that, we've had some other churches show some interest as it next year as to be a part of this Easter egg hunt as far as the city. So that was one that, we stepped out of the gate with. Events coming, summer camp, we just ended the application process as of last Friday. We are at 50 plus campers. Summer camp will happen strictly at Memorial this year. We thought about having 2, doing Shaw and Memorial, but Shaw is quite not ready yet for a summer camp program yet. So we'll look at that as of next year. But summer camp is going well. Our camp counselors are hired. Very good staff that we have coming aboard that's going to be helping the kids out. And also Sarah Watson, who is our summer camp, programmer. She has some wonderful ideas, but also some great field trips for the kids this summer. The pool, just talked with Scott this morning. The pool is pump house, the new system is in the pump house and everything. So the pool should be up and running here in a couple of days because we actually start on the 26th, this Friday. This Friday will be open for Memorial Day weekend. And then the following weekend will be open, which brings us to the first official day of the pool opening on June 10th. And that will be every day after that once June 10th takes place. Homemade days, we've been getting a lot of applications for homemade days. That event is on June 23rd and 24th at Brandon Park. But like I said, we have a lot of application coming in and a lot of people being excited about that event. And last, me and the mayor, we created a little event on June 9th along with my assistant Lalitha, far as an opening day kickoff from Memorial Park. As you all may know, all basketball courts, tennis courts, and everything are getting resurfaced, especially Memorial. That basketball court is going to be dedicated to the Air Force, which made a tremendous donation towards the city for the parks, resurfacing and a lot of things. So we'll dedicate that court hopefully on that date for the Air Force, but also we're going to add a little bit of other things to that as far as food vendors, bounce houses, and we'll use that event to kick our summer camp program off this year. Summer camp will open up on June 19th. So we're excited about a lot of the events. We took this over, a lot of cleanup, but I think we're in a good space now and we're on the ball with a lot of things.
Any questions? Vince, I'll go to you first for a change.
All right. Mr. Walker, welcome. Thank you for being here. No, it sounds like you guys are up and running and things are going very well. very happy to hear. I'm knocking on my desk right now that it looks like the pool will be up and running for Memorial Day. That's exciting. I know that there's a lot of people waiting to jump in.
Yes.
Oh, God, Vince.
In
We
regards-
got you.
And I just had one quick question because I love what you're doing. It sounds like there's really good enthusiasm that's going on. Good momentum, good community projects for with community engagement. I'm just curious. The money for the bounce houses and such, is that coming out of the recreation budget line item?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then last, what are the restrictions for the bounce house?
What we
those
deal
shoes.
with, the previous people that we've dealt with, he no longer does it, and that was fast break bounce houses, and they no longer do it anymore. So we've been actually using a company out of State College, KMB Inflatables. So when we deal with them, they pretty much give us the standard to each bounce houses, as far as age levels, grade level, as far as kids who can be on that.
Okay, so Randy and I couldn't come down in there and jump around a little bit, could we?
I want to see that. I want to see Randy in there.
I'll give
All
it a
right.
shot. I'll give it a shot.
I have no more questions. Thank you very much, Mr. Walker. Thanks,
Yeah.
Bonnie.
You're welcome, Randy.
Yeah, Sean, are we, the Juneteenth celebration, is that for Saturday or Sunday? I forget.
That is on a Saturday from when I've talked to people about it, but that has nothing to do with us.
Oh, okay, you're not going
Yeah.
to be involved. All right. I just wondered if the band shell was in good enough shape to be used, or.
Oh, well, they're not. Yeah, I've told them, Randy, they cannot use the band shell,
Okay,
as that's going to be going down for renovations here soon. So they're well aware of that. And also, talking to some people from Homemade Days, they're kind of upset about it because they have no entertainment because the band shell will be down. But
right.
they're allowed to bring their personal speakers, play music, and
Yeah.
some other things that way too.
Okay, great. Sounds good, man. Excited about this summer for our community.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Hey, thank you, Randy. Sean, from what I understand, we are doing really well with lifeguards, which I'm thrilled to hear.
Mhm.
With the Waves team. I'm thrilled to hear that the pool will be open on time, which is fantastic. I think
Right.
everybody will be thrilled about that. Would you like to tell people, since you're in a committee meeting, of how they can get full passes?
Pool pass is going to be obtained right now through me. If they want to come down to 100 West 3rd Street, I have the pool passes in hand right now. As of this weekend, they can either come here or they can go to Memorial Pool Splash Cove and obtain pool passes also.
Can they do this online? Are you capable of charge cards yet or no?
We are not. We and my assistant, we went over a training for as Rec Desk. Rec Desk is hopefully a program that we want to unleash as of next year. We want to really familiarize ourselves with it before we get it out to the public. It will be tremendous. It will allow us to not just do pool passes, but also pavilion rentals and a lot of different things on there, which cuts down on a lot of the paperwork here.
And how much are the pool passes this year?
Pool passes right now are $5 for as an adult, $4 for a student. Seasonal, you're looking at far as a family, 200. Seasonal pass far as an adult is 75, and that's anywhere from 18 to 64. Students, as long as they have an ID, is 55 for a senior, a seasonal pass.
And what are the pool hours going to be?
The pool will open up at 12 noon to 1 o'clock. That will be for our senior citizen or older generation, for them to go in there and have their swimming time. And then they will be open from 1 to 7, 7 days a week.
And when you do the senior from 12 to 1, it is only open to them, right?
Yes,
Okay. And everything that all the extras on the pool, the slide, the whole 9 yards, everything is in there at this point, right?
yes, yep. Yeah,
Fantastic.
we'll be out tomorrow, make sure everything is good to go. We'll probably meet Scott there at some point tomorrow. So, you know, we want to go out and take a look at things, make sure everything is ready to go for Friday when we open up for this holiday weekend.
Okay, and how is the splash pad doing?
Splash pad, they are still working on it when I was talking to Scott. So we're hoping to have that up. I probably won't be this weekend, but at least by June 10th, we're hoping to have that open as well as the pool.
What's been the delay?
They still have to do something with the pump station out there and the filter and everything and get some electricity running to it also.
Okay, so that it's been held up with some of the alternates that we needed, okay, because are you talking lights or electricity for the splash pad itself?
For a splash pad itself.
Okay,
And then they do want to put lights out there, and I know there was supposed to be some cameras going out there eventually also.
right, exactly. That's what we stated we wanted.
Yeah.
And what is have you talked to John? Is he working on this end of it?
I talked to John, was out there a couple of weeks ago with him. The guys that are running electricity, they were out there working. I do not know if they're finished with that yet or not, though.
Okay, so hopefully you're right, looking at June 10th. Are you going to have some kind of opening for this on? Because I know Ms. Mealy was concerned that there could be a lot of people going to this. And can we have like extra police, extra security, something, to, you know, in case there is when you do open the splash pad? If there,
I would, yeah, I don't know about that, Bonnie, but I would definitely have that talk with those guys and also with the mayor and see what we can do with that. You know, I know they talked about, I talked with them about putting maybe another lifeguard out there, just, you know, in the first couple of weeks and make sure everything is well, running okay and everything else. But I would definitely have that discussion with those guys about, you know, maybe having a police presence out there or an extra person.
yeah, because it is, we don't know how people are going to go after this because it's going to look spectacular.
Right.
That'll help. I don't think it's the right one for that. Hold on just a second. Ms. Katz, the question
Yes.
came up about cameras at the splash pads and the parks and so forth.
Yep.
I am working on that right now. I got the last quote for internet access for that yesterday. I have a lot of the equipment. I just at this point need some install done by Streets and Parks for light poles and so forth. And then we can move forward on that.
Okay, fantastic. So it's a good possibility that this could be up and running, you know, with the lights and cameras, lights, camera in action by June 10th.
Very good possibility.
Fantastic. That sounds great. Sean, the only other question I have for you right now is, well, I got a couple more, but are you chemically certified at this point?
I am not. I have all the books and everything that I need to get started with that. So that's one thing that I want to start getting at, but I know the mayor shared with me that maybe even a playground inspector too. So, you know, I got some things on my plate, but I'm looking forward to getting at them. So.
And this is a busy time of year for you right now. It really is. So then somebody from Streets and Parks, because I understand from Scott Livermore that there is Streets and Parks does have somebody that's there for that's chemically certified, right?
Yes.
Because
actually, that's gonna be part of my training. I'm gonna go out there and watch them live and watch how they do things, especially with that new machine in the pump house too. A lot of people that I talked to that said that might make it easier for you as far as when you start testing for your license.
I'm a visual person, so I can understand that. I think having, like you said, the first couple of weeks, having a lifeguard situated out there might be a good thing.
Right.
till we see what goes on there, because it's going to be brand new for all of us. We
Right,
don't know what's going to happen, and we just want to make sure everybody's going to be safe.
right.
So I'm excited about all that. Williamsport welcomes the world. A question for that, okay?
Uh-huh.
How are you doing with that? What's going on with that?
Well, we just had our first meeting with the chamber about that. So things are moving okay right now. We just had our meeting, me and my assistant. We went down and just seeing what was needed from us as recreation, but also to talk with his assistant Megan, far as when applications come in for Williamsport Welcomes the World, all that paperwork will then go to the chamber, not just here, so things are not being crossed over at that point. But like I said, we just had our first meeting as of last Friday, as far as Williamsport Welcomes the World. So things are starting to move on that.
Let me ask you this, because again, this is a rumor. I was never verified. Are we still collecting the money from the vendors? Or is that all going to the chamber?
No, I've heard about that too. And that's one thing we talked about in that meeting. All paperwork and monies, anything that comes through our recreation office will be taken down there to the chamber with Megan, and she will take care of that.
So we're not going to benefit from Williamsport Welcomes the World financially?
I do not know that question. Answer to that question.
Okay, this is something the city started, okay? This was a city-run event. And the money that was garnished from Williamsport Welcomes the World was a lot of money, and that helped finance some of the extra events that we had. You know,
Okay.
and it bothers me that the chamber has more or less taken over this. Yes, they do a lot for Williamsport Welcomes the World, business-wise and everything. But if they're taking the money for all of this, I find that a little bit disturbing, since this was one of our biggest fundraisers outside of Homemade Days, in order to subsidize the egg hunt and so on and so forth, whatever else we need.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if they are completely either or. I just don't know that answer to that question right now. So I can't really, and I don't want to sway any direction on that, because I need more information for myself. You know, me being the first time into this position. So I need a little bit more information how real things really go.
This is why I'm bringing it up with you, Sean, because August is going to be here awfully quick. And this, when I heard this rumor, I just, it's a lot of work for the rec department, but it's also a lot of money that comes in for the rec department. As
Right.
far, because you're talking well over 100 vendors. Okay.
Right.
And that's that, how much it costs for the Easter egg hunt.
Right.
And where else do you get money other than Homemade Days?
Right.
And we got to keep in mind, this was a city-run event. This was Mayor Campana's baby when him and Christie, they came up with this. Okay. And the only reason Williamsport Welcomes the World, why he did this, let me give you a backstory, is because the businesses downtown in Williamsport never benefited from Little League. And what happened was the governor also realized this, and they wanted to have a parade and everything else to help financially the city. Okay. So when Williamsport Welcomes the World came about, it was to bring people downtown to the businesses. And, it's, to me, it's a shame if this was turned over to the chamber, even though, like I said, I know it's a lot of work, because I worked on Williamsport Welcomes the World for the first few years. And
Right.
I just, please find out what's going on with that. And,
Yeah.
and the only thing that I understood is that it was easy for people, like most businesses, run their businesses through credit cards. And since the rec department didn't have a credit card machine or a program for this, they were running it through the chamber. And, and then all of a sudden we're not getting anything.
Okay.
I think there's something that has to be, because not only, the city also supplies all the first responders for Williamsport Welcomes the World, which is another huge expense, because it's overtime and everything else. So, there's a lot of things involved here. So
Well,
just,
I can definitely ask those questions. So, I mean, to get more clarification, and so I can help you guys out with that too. But Like I said, right now, I didn't know a lot of that stuff, and that's something interesting that I can check into.
Okay, and yeah, I know you wouldn't. This is, let's face it, you're in a learning curve with some of the stuff that's going on in the rec department.
Right.
The other question I have is the rec committee meeting at all? With committee members?
The rec committee is meeting. We've had a meeting, I want to say maybe the last 2-3 months. Far as it's getting new members in, and some are getting responses from other members that were a part that are no longer on there.
So you need it promoted how many active members do you have? Do you know?
Right now we are at 7 active.
That should fill it, shouldn't it?
I know last time I talked with Janice, I think it was 7 or 8. I'm not sure.
Okay. So if we need any more, we can start promoting, because there's probably people out there that would love to do work with the rec department.
Right. Right.
It's one of those things it's a fun committee. It really is.
Right. Yeah, I served on it the last 10 years, so.
So you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot that can be done.
Yes.
And it is interesting and it is fun. But if you need help with that, let's make sure that we can get it on the website or whatever to make sure we can promote if you need people for that. And when you do meet, just for city council, appoint somebody that is a secretary to take minutes, and we need to have minutes sent to us so we know what's going on. So we can, if the public comes to us, we at least can say, yes, we know this is going on and that's going on, because we get a lot of phone calls, Sean, we really do. Do you know this? Do you know that? And having your meetings publicized, and then it would also be put on the website so people know what's going on. Okay. It also helps you. It also does. Okay.
Okay.
So appoint somebody on the committee as a secretary to take the minutes, and then you give those minutes to Janice to be handed out. You would have to make copies for us, okay? But other than that, talk to Janice about that, okay?
All right, will do.
Okay, and
Yeah.
I don't think I think I've touched every base that I needed at this point. Sean, I thank you so much for, I know you have a lot on your plate. Like I said, this is a busy time for you, because everything is boom, 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 because right after Williamsport Welcomes the World, then you have the Christmas parade to work on.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot, and I understand that. But other than that,
but it's fun, Bonnie. It's fun,
Oh, I know it is. That's why I said I've been on the rec. I was on the rec as the council rep for so long, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Plus, I also I love working on the special events.
Right.
And I know Randy has done it, and I know Vince has done it, and we've, we enjoy it, and it's something. It's enjoyable.
Right.
Instead of, like us, most of the time it's pipes and pumps and resolutions, and we're making this and we're doing laws and saying no to stuff. So yeah, it is fun. It really is. So if you need anything from us, Sean, please let us know. Okay.
All right. Will do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Latitha, how do you say your name again?
Lalitha.
Lalitha. Okay. Oh, I missed the L. I got her name. Latitha. We'll get to meet you also. Any questions at all from Vince or Randy?
If I may, I have one question, but then one comment, if I may. Randy, did you want to jump in first?
No, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'll start with the question in regards to the Williamsport Welcomes the World parade, while we're on the topic of the chamber and getting some information out. Mr. Walker, if you get the time, can you also please see who is allowed to be a vendor at the event? I had a small business owner reach out to me a while. And when I say a while ago, I mean 2 years, at least 2 years ago, and bring it to my attention that only vendors that were chamber members were authorized or allowed to be to participate in the Williamsport Welcomes the World event. I don't know how correct that was. I remember seeing like Chick-fil-A and some other places, some other food trailers there that I thought, I don't know if they're a Williamsport chamber member, But either way, if you would be able to look into that, I would appreciate it, just for some clarification, so I know what we can tell our, prospective vendors.
Vince,
Okay.
are you talking the parade, or are you talking Williamsport Welcomes the World, which is the I'd say fair, okay? It's the fair. The
I'm
parade,
talking the Williamsport Welcomes the World event, the fair.
the fair, okay. That
Okay.
was That was never supposed to be like that. Any vendor that signed up was supposed to be given a
Yep.
shot.
I believe it was it last year, 2 years ago? I remember very vividly seeing like the Chick-fil-A food trailer in the one of the parking lots there across from Otto's bookstore. However, I would just like to get some clarification on that, so I know, what I can accurately convey to anybody that has an interest in being a vendor at the event, please.
Okay.
And then on to the comment. So as you were talking, you probably noticed that my head was down. I was receiving text messages, specifically, Mr. Walker, text message from Mr. Kevin Mackey, our city treasurer and tax collector,
Okay.
who wanted to be on the call, on the Zoom call himself, so he could personally say what a wonderful job that you're doing. However, he's in another meeting right now. But you have to forgive me because I haven't got to see you or Lalitha in action yet. But he did want me to make sure to mention that from what he and his office have seen, the city taxpayers have been extremely happy to see what you and Lalitha and your office are doing. And that Kevin wanted me to make sure everyone knows that he personally has seen how much effort and care that you put into everybody's ideas. And for that, he wanted to make sure that you were recognized for it. So I wanted to make sure that I said that on the record out and in the public meeting. So whatever you're doing, sir, please keep doing it.
Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. That's all I have, Bonnie.
Okay, Randy.
It's nice to hear positive things, especially those last comments. So well done, Mr. Walker.
Thank you.
If we have nothing else to discuss, Sean, thank you so much for your time. We will be asking you to come back to discuss everything, maybe closer to Williamsport Welcomes the World in August, so people are aware of what's going on and what we can do, okay?
Will do.
And
Yeah.
if you need to come to a meeting to discuss what's going on with the pool or special events that are going on throughout the summer, please don't hesitate to call me to get on Public Works, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, Lolitha.
Yep. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, last item on the agenda is any related items. Does anybody have anything to add for this? I see head shaking no.
I don't know.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Y'all take care. See you Thursday.
All right.